So at this point, what we are going to do is we're going to run this app. And to run the app in the default browser, all you have to do is click your run button. But if you click on the arrow, you'll see web browser and whatever one is your default. And you can actually run on any of the browsers that you have installed on your system. Okay. And so I'm going to go ahead and just run it. And this is going to be running in the background. I updated my Visual Studio, and this is the newest change. So didn't used to do it that way. But it still kind of looks the same as before. One of the customizations that we need to make is to our nav bar. But I am going to show you how to see all of the different pages that we have created. So not only do we need to look at these pages, but we also need to test them to make sure that the functionality works before we move on to styling. So I'm going to pull up the users. So you'll notice I did a slash and then the name of the folder, which is users. Okay, now this should bring up my index page by default, which it did. And it's got my seed data in here. So I'm going to create a new one. We'll do Scooby. Okay, and let me hit create. All right, so we know the add function works. This is my index page, so we know that is working. Let's try and edit. We'll give Scooby a middle initial here. All right, that worked. Let's take a look at the details. And that worked. And we should be able to get to edit from here, which also worked. And then we can delete. I'm going to create another one to delete. All right. Oh, and I should show you this. That check that we put in for email, if I don't do an email address properly, you can see that it's going to come back and give me an error. Also, if I have something that's required and I don't fill it in, it gives me an error for that too. And that is all coming from the rules that we added to those model classes. Like I said, it can't check to see if the email address works, but it can see if it's properly formatted. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and delete that. And poof, it's gone. All right, so users works. Let's take a look at exercises. Okay, we got a lot to edit in here, so I'm going to edit muscle group. I think I'm going to put core in here. Let me, and we'll do more yoga, right? Here. Okay. Let's add one. And I might add one that I had. Okay, we'll do legs. The type is going to be strength. Now, this is one change that we're going to make because we don't know what the acceptable types are. Remember, we created an enum for that. And so one of the changes we're going to make is to create a drop down here listing the acceptable type so they can just pick it. Otherwise, there's a good chance that you enter that incorrectly. I'll do quads. Let's see. We'll do leg extension. Do some squats, right? We'll do 15, 3 sets. Let's do 80. We'll do 10 minutes. Okay, so we've got all of that filled in. And I'm going to delete this one out of here. Okay, so I've done all of the CRUD functionality on this as well. So let's move on to workout log. Oops, and that's going to be workout logs. Okay. And let's add a new one. And click on this. What time? Okay, that looks good. We'll just click away. Cookie, what is she gonna do? Do some speed walking. Okay, so you can see that that works as well. And change this one. Running 12 a.m. No, I would not be working out at 12 a.m. There. Okay, that took my change. And poor Frank ate too many hot dogs, so we're just going to delete that out of there. Okay, so CRUD functionality works on all of our pages. Okay, and that is what you need to test. Okay, now to get out of here, I can either close the web browser or this little window that popped up, which is kind of interesting, is actually showing me the different SQL commands that it's executing while I'm in here. The select commands and everything, which actually is pretty cool. So you can, if you close this little window, it'll stop the app as well. Okay. Alrighty. So the next little segment that we are going to be working with are the views and the page models, which are the code behind the views.